I do want to bring in Aaron Katersky, our senior investigative correspondent, who's also been talking to law enforcement sources on this. And Aaron, a big part of the conversation in the last half hour or so, since we've been getting more information, is whether or not this was some kind of assassination attempt. What are you learning from your sources?
While it's certainly not being confirmed as such yet, I can tell you that officials who've been briefed on the situation in Pennsylvania are telling us here that they are investigating this now as a possible assassination attempt. The sources told ABC News live rounds were apparently fired from outside the security perimeter, which may help explain some of the dynamics at play here. And we know that magnetometers were in place for the event. But it's believed, one of the angles of investigation now is that live rounds were possibly fired from outside the security perimeter, and that's where the investigation stands at the moment.
And Aaron, you have also been to a lot of these different events, not just various political events from former President Trump, but also his court hearings in New York and the security measures that have been in place at each and every one of them. Talk more about the typical response and how law enforcement would prepare for an event like this.
The planning for these events is always evolving, and it is sometimes months, if not years, in the making, especially for a planned event like a political convention or some kind of rally. And this is what the Secret Service does on a daily basis. And I know colleagues have talked to you about the heightened threat environment and how that environment is dynamic. It's been elevated ever since October 7th, and the political climate in the country has certainly made authorities concerned. We don't know anything about what may have factored into all of this, of course, so this is still very early, but this is now being investigated as a possible assassination attempt, and the suspicion now is that live rounds were fired, apparently from outside the security perimeter.
Aaron Katersky, thank you. And once again, to our viewers who may just be turning in, wondering what's going on here. This incident happening in Butler, Pennsylvania. This was supposed to be a major rally for former President Trump ahead of the Republican National Convention. There were hints that perhaps he might select a possible running mate in the next 48 hours or so. So a lot of attention was on this specific event. And then we heard from witnesses and from our Rachel Scott, who was inside the venue, who said that they described the repeated popping sounds that sounded like gunshots. Then you see in these images and the videos the Secret Service swarming around the former president, who reached for his right ear as he went down behind the podium. Those Secret Service agents then forming somewhat of a human shield over him before escorting him off the stage. And here you see in these images when Trump got up onto his feet, there were cheers from the crowd. He started pumping his fist as that blood started to trickle down from the top of his right ear. And again, from the district attorney in Butler County telling ABC News, and this is the only source so far that we've had about the shooter being killed and a possible bystander and maybe another who was also injured in this shooting. But the district attorney giving us that information, saying that they were looking into this right now and told that there was chaos out there as they were investigating the next steps in this case. So once again, if you're just joining us, the former president spokesperson tells us that he is fine. He is safe right now, but no information in terms of an apparent injury, although we did see that blood in some of the photographs that we've seen flash across the screen here.